that was something that you desire.
Truly. So I say thank you.
Do you want to do a few more shout-outs then and we'll get going?
Yeah, for sure. So I see
some beautiful people in the room.
So our friend Lark is here. Charles, I'm glad you found the link in the end, my friend. Thanks for joining us. He's an amazing author, is Charles. Ponder on Pilgrim, that's his book. It's an amazing book. It's teaching the lessons that we're talking about. The principles that we know work for sure. Ruth, I see you. Welcome. Antonio, Eturi, I see you as well. Kim, welcome. Salone, if I pronounce your name properly, the E is pronounceable, please just let me know. I'd love to get it right. My friend Brian is here as well. So, Anne, great to have you here. And it's a remote work expert. That's what a company does. Supplies remote workers around the world. And she's an amazing person. Lakisha. Oh, okay, let's try and get it. I'm trying to mix the letters together in my head. Welcome, Lakisha. So, Andrew, I see you too. My friends, let's do the first thing that this rooms allow us to do, which is connect with people. Let's build our network. I'll definitely bring you up. Please bear with us. Keep your hand up. I want to bring you up first, indeed. So I'll bring you up in good time. I promise you. Let us do our introductions. And then we'll come to you first. My friends, I guess I'm trying to run these rooms in a different kind of way. I'm trying to be more explicit in terms of how we help people. I say all that because I'm trying a new format of audio rooms to see if it helps you more, and also it helps us more to focus on the topic. A lot of people talk in these rooms for what I call edutainment. It's entertaining, it's fun. At last, people leave our rooms and many other rooms with issues they come in with. I want us to begin to address issues that we may have. So when Donna and I are talking today about patience, so we want you to truly look at the issue from your perspective. Do you have an issue that we can help you with? So the way we're trying to do it is what I call the three big questions, and that Donna has four today, by the way. So, of course, we can vary the format. Essentially, my point is this: come on, raise your hand, and come and answer the questions that we have. That way, you know where you are on the issues that we're discussing. For those in the audience who don't want to come up, please feel free. We'll be more than happy for you to DM me or Donna especially for today's topic, if you have an issue that, with the answers to the questions. If you don't want to come on stage, just answer the questions in the DM to Donna if you actually want some help or conversation about the topic. So I'm hoping you'll see that it helps us stay more focused, and it helps us to also have a better conversation around our topic. If you think of a topic you want us to discuss in these rooms, please just DM us, and then let's see how we can make it happen. That way you can have conversations that you want to have. I see a few more have joined us. Ema has joined us, my good friend Ema. So if we're into building businesses, black businesses especially, and also building a network that can support companies to grow. Roxana, I see you too. Welcome all of you. Romy, please, and I see you as well. Just stay there. You know how this room works, right? We'll bring you up. I said you two will be the first, and then so the reason we do people come up at one at a time is because we want to make sure we actually leave on time. When everyone's on stage, we tend to overrun by a long way. Donna and I can't afford to overrun. We're literally very focused on. We value your time. We want you to get the benefits of the session, and also leave on time. Sebastian, Jessamy, I see you both. Welcome, both of you. So let's start the conversation. I'm Eni Osang. My company is Global.Media, and I want to make everyone famous. I want to make everyone well known. I want to make everyone successful. I want to make everyone achieve their business dreams, which also means achieving their personal goals if you have the right goals. So I want to put you in the media. I want to put you, on radio, in magazines. I want you to get really well known. So the other way I can make you well known is by helping you to write your book. Authors like Leslie, who've written several books, like Donna, who's a best-selling author. Your book gives you expert status straight away. People don't talk to experts; they want to pay you. They pay you to come and talk to them. It opens doors to all sorts of opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise. If you want to write your book, let's have a chat. I've got a team that will help you write your book, package your book, publish your book. So I'm lucky to also be able to market your book for you. So that's one of my expertise. On the book side, my other expertise is that I can guarantee to make anyone who writes a decent book a bestseller. The last author I put through my bestseller campaign got 4 bestseller awards. So she's now an international bestseller. So, and also another 4 awards for being hot new release in America, Canada, and UK. That's what I do for a living. Donna, I'll let you share what you do, and then let's get into the conversation if you don't mind.
Thanks very much, Annie, and hi folks, you're so welcome. If you're new to this show and you're new to our event, Being Your Authentic Self in Business, which me and Annie have been running for a year now, you are so welcome. We've changed time zones, we've transitioned with a few things. I've come from Ireland to Australia, so a lot has been happening for me and Annie in our world over the past couple of months, so you're welcome. And I will always say to everybody, you are exactly where you're meant to be right now, in this moment, listening to this conversation. So if stuff comes up for you, have a look at the questions that we shared on the group. Have a look at today's topic on patience. As Annie said, I've written specifically. But what do? I'm founder of the Good Life Approach, and I help entrepreneurs and leaders. Leaders like you, leaders in the community, leaders in your world, leaders in executive and corporate, leaders in nursing and frontline. We are all leading in some way, in some capacity in this world as a parent, as a partner, as a community member. So how do you lead and put your best foot forward? I help you to intentionally design what we talked about earlier there, to sit down, get clarity and design intentionally with intentionality, and then create your own good life through your vision, your values, which is key, your mission, why you're here. That might not be so clear yet. And your goals. You may not have clarity around them, or you may, but this is intentionality so that you can create these 4 core pillars and implement them into your world. I was a nurse for over 15 years. I'm a certified mindset consultant through the phenomenal Bob Proctor and the Proctor Gallagher Institute. So I learned from some phenomenal minds. And I'm also a certified neurolinguistic practitioner and breakthrough coach. All my life, I've used intuition. I've always been intuitive in how I guide people and how I mentor and how I coach. And you can also have a look on my profile and join our Good Life community for newsletters, tips, tools, updates. So that's a bit about me. And what we're talking about today, folks, is patience. And the relevance of this here is we put up these questions to get you to ask. Hands up, how many of you clicked on this and actually looked through the questions and had to think about them for yourself? And now there's no judgment, it's neutrality here, because our human side, our default is to just go, okay, do I need to look at something? Do I need to not? Does that mean that I need to assess myself? Where am I going? What am I doing? These questions, if you haven't looked at them, have a think about them now. And if you have a pen and paper, folks, just grab it and take down what comes to your mind. Take down what is relevant for you and leave the rest, because this is about you. It's about your journey. It's about where you are at. Nobody else is in your head. Nobody else knows your desires until you bring them to the forefront of your heart and actually acknowledge through your intellect, through that educated mind, to actually speak your truth. To connect to your heart center, folks, is where your subconscious lies. This is the key to access to the internal transformations for you. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to ask yourself, how would you rate yourself on patience? And when I'm talking about patience, when things happen, when things show up, do you automatically react, fly off the handle? Is things out of your mouth straight away? Have you commented on something before you've given yourself time to process the thought, to process what's going on? As a mommy to 3 young boys, this is something that I am consistently working on, to bring myself back to the pause mode, to actually pause and have time to respond, have time to go through it. But a lot of times my habits, my habitual behaviour, my programming would be to fly off the handle, would be to put out a response before I've even given it much thought. How many people can relate to that? How many people have got into a bit of hot water because they've responded before hindsight, before actually going, okay, if I had took a moment to pause on that, I wouldn't be going through this process, this learning, this thing that we're going through. And so 10 is complete zen. How many of you are complete zen? I would love to know, because I am definitely not. And this is my jam, folks. This is what I do on a daily basis. But for me, there's no such thing as perfection. And my clients, my thinking on the results clients, will ask me all the time, Donna, have you got this sorted? How does it feel to be in an ease and flow way of life all the time? And I'm like, you're not. Because there's universal laws, folks, that are not man-made, that we are all governed by, that we flow in, that I teach my 10-year-old, my 6-year-old, my 4-year-old on an easy process. Because this is the natural rhythm. As sure as the sun comes up, as sure as the tide goes in and out, we operate on that energy and that flow. And it's important for us to be aware of this. So it's, where are you in your self-awareness? Where are you in your process, your journey right now in this moment with your patients? Now, what makes you rate yourself at this level? What has showed up for you in your world where you have put a number on that scale and went, oh, I'm here. Now again, folks. And I'd be laughing at this. I'm like, always without judgment. When you pick the ego up by the ears because it never serves you, when you set it aside, and this comes from practice as well, folks, when you're willing to set the ego aside and look from neutrality, feel from neutrality, and ask yourself, okay, if I'm an outsider looking in, if I'm a fly in the wall and I'm just looking at, okay, what's Donna doing today? Where would I rate her patients for how she reacted or responded in that scenario? Where's Anne at today? Brian, how did you respond to that? Where would I put you in that scale? Charles, how about you? Dr. Sherry, Mark, Roxana, where would I put myself? Where do you put yourself in your level of practice and patience? And I would love you to come and share your examples, or if any questions come up when we're finished this part, I want you to jump in and put your shares, your thoughts, your questions to myself and Annie, and to the group, to other people here as well. The third part of this, folks, is what impact, if any. So this patient, you may be happy, you may pause and respond and reflect on stuff. You may have that good core grounding already, where this is something that you're consistently developing and that works for you in your world right now. If it is, that's absolutely brilliant. But as you continue in your journey, it's about developing that. It's about continuing on that process with your patients, with your standards, with your self-reflection. But if this is having an impact on you, what impact is it having on your business? Do you react to things in a not so good way? Do you jump into a call with someone, whether that's a discovery call, whether that's somebody asking about your services? Are you rushed, and then do you jump in an energy of anxiety, frustration? Does that client walk a mile away from you? What vibration, what frequency are you operating in? Are you wanting things so desperately to come? Are you forcing at the gates, as we say? Trying to make things happen, spinning your wheels? How is this impatience reflecting and impacting on your business? Ask yourself, again from a non-judgmental point of view, where I am at right now, what energy, what frequency am I at? How am I feeling? because you can only hold one energy at a time, folks. And this is critical because the law of vibration, that frequency, that energy, that emotion, it's all the exact same thing, just a different label that us humans put on it. But this is your number one point of attraction. This comes before manifestation, which means to make real. So whatever vibration you're in, whatever feeling you're holding in your core, whatever impatience, whatever energy you are radiating out there, you are magnetizing back to you, whether you're aware or unaware, the exact frequency that you're putting out. So I want you to simply ask yourself, where, if any, impatience is showing up? Where is it showing up? Where am I feeling it? And how is this affecting or impacting my business world? Am I in fear, lack, and limitation? Am I jumping on a call with someone and instead of practicing that service, how can I serve them? How can I help them? Am I thinking in my mind before the call? I hope they jump in. I hope that they're paying me in full. I hope that they're going to join my program. I hope. Because when we understand from a neutral point of view that impatience, a person, whether they consciously feel it, they will always feel it on a deeper level of vibration, whether they are aware or not. And you've had this experience yourself. When you feel like something's not quite right, show of hands, how many of you have gone through an experience where you feel talking to somebody, the impatience, the energy, that what they're saying from the teeth out isn't how they're actually feeling? And something in your radar, your trigger, your intuition is just saying, run a mile, run the other way. This person isn't for me, or there's an ulterior motive, or even when you get a message on your LinkedIn. And I've experienced this quite a lot, and I laugh at this now and find it so interesting. How many of you have got messages from somebody and it's, hey, how are you? And da 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 da. And you're like, oh, okay, this is nice, and this is a connection. And then you'll have another message, but your gut instinct, your intuition is, oh, this person is really impatient. They have an ulterior motive. I play a guessing game with myself where I'm like, guaranteed the next question to follow is, have you ever had so many clients? Have you ever had this and this? Have you ever? How many of you, show of hands, have had this on LinkedIn? Where intuitively you feel someone's impatience, you feel what they need, that thing that they're calling. And folks, it's not a nice place to be when you're in that, especially as a business owner. How many people can relate? Because it's not nice, but when we understand and bring these tools and methods back, you can completely change your life. You are the boss of you. You're in control of you. You think for you. You feel for you. You create that imagery in your head for you. You take that physical action for you. You have control of that energy that is swirling in your physical body, in your spiritual being, in your thought process. So you have the control to either back that out or accept that and bring that in and house that and feed it and nurture it. So with your patience or impatience today, where are you at? And the last part of this is, if you could do something to improve that, to improve in this area, because look at your personal life. How patient or impatient are you? Do you fly off the handle with the kids? This is something I work on a daily basis, and I am always honest, because these are trigger points for me, going back to my childhood, and these are things that show up in my world, not as often, but times they still show up because they are lessons for me. I call them blessings, because they make me a better mommy. They make me a better human, a better spirit, because they're part of my journey. And when I accept that and don't let ego come in to say, oh, you should have learned this by now, other people have it all together. And I just say, okay, great, thanks for that lesson. When I practice that default, when I use laughter as a remedy, my vibration automatically shifts, my frequency automatically shifts. my point of attraction. So you can even practice that, writing down what has showed up for you. And if you need help, that is what I'm here for. If you would like to have a conversation, if you would like to have a complimentary deep dive and see what trigger points are coming up for you, then that is part of the process, folks. So it's having that patience to live in that calmness of mind. Money can't buy that, folks. 100,000 clients cannot buy that. Your resting state of peace, calmness, and contentment comes from within. It comes from with internal transformations. And so with this, folks, have you any insights on this? Because I want to just share some practical tips that you can actually take away through this. Have you anything you'd like to bring into that at the moment, Annie? And then we'll get people up to share.
I think for sure, this patience thing is, it's like I said, it's about living in peace and joy, knowing that you're gonna get what you want when the time's right. For me, of course, it takes a long time to learn that lesson. So I'll come back to that in a second, Donna. So Damien, I see you. Shivangi, thanks for joining us. So my good friend Camille, so wellness coach, I'm glad you're here. Solara, Reiki legend, glad you're here too. Chieza, I see you. Welcome. Aram, so Chanda, one new client, got a new room on Friday. Do join us. They're talking about how to look after our mental health around the festive season. Her company is AAT app, essentially a digital app for young people who are experiencing mental health issues and are at risk of suicide. So it's doing serious work. Dr. Sherry, how you doing? So we're writing her grandmother's book together. So that's our mission. Just I mentioned Sebastian. So welcome all of you. On the patient side, Donna, I think when I look back, I think many of the things that I wanted, that I dare to say I want in life, they've happened. Not when I thought they would happen, not when I wanted them to happen. So it takes a long time to sort of reconcile that reality with our constant state of want. I want more customers. I want big customers right now. It's Christmas next week. I need big customers. I don't really. The customers will come. When they come. All I got to do, like you say, is focus on what I'm doing now. Focus on living each day with joy, each day in happiness, and doing what I do for my existing clients. The other next clients will come. The same as I said, I just realized that when you let life be, as long as I have that faith, that genuine faith, good things that would happen. Now, when I was a kid, I said I wanted Mercedes. I kept saying over and over and over. I knew I'd have one. I had one. What age? I couldn't. Literally, I had one. Say in my 30s. Was that my plan? Did I know it was going to be my 30s? Of course not. But I let it be. I say that because I've learned that if you just let things be, they will come to you when the time is right for you. Let me go back to my point about customers. When I started my business, I wanted big customers. Loads of them. Imagine if I got big customers in my first month, my first year, my first 3 years. I would have lost them all because I couldn't serve them. I really couldn't have held on to them. I couldn't help them at all. So it's definitely, life knows that you're ready when you're ready, and that's when you get bigger customers. And that's when the right things will come to you. I think this patience thing is so important. Again, you and I see people every day, don't know, who wants everything today, right? And then when they don't get it, they get all stressed and all upset and all feeling, life is terrible. It may be, but definitely having that patience is so important to really let life be what it's meant to be for you, and you get what you get when you're ready. I'll give it back to you, Donna.
Thanks, Melanie. And that's the key, folks. It's about asking yourself, and it's about understanding. So when you're practicing patience, it's about getting out of the mindset that I wanted everything yesterday.
Yeah.
And I have been one that has been through that process. Come on. When's it showing up? And a great example of patience that I can come back to in my life, it took us 3 years to come from Ireland to Australia. 3 years of persistence with the house, with a legal case, with a lot of things going on that could have stopped us multiple times in our tracks, that got us questioning, why are we doing this? Why? And it's always coming back to your why. And the one thing, Anna, that kept showing up for me, one thing that kept coming into my mind, that kept coming into my heart, was you're exactly where you're meant to be. That has always been my mantra. The universe is working, it's conspiring in the right way, in the divine right time. So when you have the understanding that whether you relate to God, whether you relate to the universe, whether you relate to source or spirit, it doesn't matter, it's what's relevant to you. But when you understand that there is a universal timing, that everything comes, and when we're in this moment, it can be frustrating because you're trying to dig up them seeds. But you wouldn't plant carrots and then go out the next day and dig up the seeds and ask, where's my carrots, would you? You would take that time and you would take that process and you would say, right, okay, so I've put the seeds in. I know that they're carrots and I know that they usually take this amount of time. This is where when we set goals, we usually put a timeline on it, but it's also understanding and letting go that yes, I'm asking for this, yes, I'm calling this in because it's come to me, it's my goal, it's my wish and desire, but the universe is always working for my highest good and the divine best interests of all in a fair and just manner for all. So as long as what you're asking for isn't doing harm, as long as what you're asking for is aligned with you authentically, it's about letting go, having that patience and trusting through your understanding, using the power of your intellect, of your educated mind, to tell yourself, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I've put my order in like you're putting your order in the Amazon. You wouldn't keep ringing and checking as soon as your order's gone in. You accept it, you get your email back. So when you put your order in the universe, the source, whatever you want to call it, it's about knowing, okay, I've written this down, I've processed this, I've called for this. I'm using my visioneering, I'm going into my mindset toolbox and I am asking, I'm using the auto suggestion, I'm looking in the mirror and telling myself what I'm attracting to me. I'm shifting my energy and vibration when I'm in that impatience mode, when I'm in that constant checking, when I'm in that fight or flight, that anxious, that is it coming, I need. Because when we're in a need vibration, we're in a lack of limitation. We're in an impatience, and all we can bring to it, we are pushing our goal, we are pushing our ask further away from us. So this is where mindset, this is where coaching, this is where mentoring comes in to meet you where you're at in your level of awareness. This is where I come and meet people where they're at through intentional design, through your level of awareness and how you can communicate this in your word. And that can be tough, folks, that impatience. But you can have whatever you're asking for. It's a matter of putting it in, using the steps, using the processes, using your understanding, your faith, your trust, and your intuition, using these higher faculties that most of us aren't aware of. Mindset isn't magic, folks. Manifestation isn't magic. It's a process. And whether it's myself, whether it's Leslie, whether it's some of the other phenomenal people in here that do mindset and tools and sharing, whether it's Romy here sharing his phenomenal story, we all learn in different ways and we're all on our own journey, our own ladder of self-belief, self-awareness. And it's about meeting you where you're at and intuitively guiding you to the tools, to the processes that work for you, not for me, but for you. So I hope that these tips and tools have helped. If you have any questions, share. I see we have a few people up here, Emmy, so would you like to bring them on stage?
Yeah, for sure.
Or have you anything else to add to that first?
No, I think that this patient topic is so, like I said, like you say, it's so important to all of us. when we learn it, so I think we live in more enjoy for longer, which helps us achieve the things we want to achieve anyway. Stressing ourselves out just makes everything more painful. Why drag out the process when you can be enjoying and attract what you want through your good vibrations rather than just making everything more painful. I don't know. But it's a lesson we have to learn. That now sometimes the hard way, don't I? So I'll keep quiet. Saying Leslie's on stage. Now she's a legend. Let's see how it goes. My friends in the audience, don't forget. So we're working with our full questions. Donna, do you want to go through them, or should I say them? So,
Yeah, you go for it, Annie. There, break it down.
So Donna's in there. So we're trying to work with this 4 questions for this room today. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself on patience? So 1 being no patience, and 10 being living in a state of zen. Total calmness, right? And what makes you rate yourself at this level? What's the reason for your score? What examples do you have in your head to sort of back up your score? So that third question is, what impact, if any, does having this level of patience have on your business and your personal life? Is your level of patience helping you, in other words, or is it hindering you? So the last question, my friends, is if you could do something to improve your patience, and the results you get in these areas in your business and your life, would it be worth it for you? And what difference would they actually make to your life? Those are the 4 questions we're going to try and focus on. If you want to come on stage and answer, please raise your hand. We'll try and bring you up. It's a good time. If you don't want to come on stage, my friends, please just DM Donna with the answers to the question. I'm trying to make sure this is a better way for us to run this room.